Honorable Madam Speaker, ma'am, thank you very much for the opportunity to present in this House the report of the Portfolio Committee on Tourism and Hospitality Industry on the 2024 third and fourth quarter budget performance reports for the Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry. I'll move straight to the introduction, Honorable Speaker, ma'am. The Constitution of Zimbabwe gives a broad mandate of parliamentary oversight of all state revenues and expenditure in order to ensure financial probity in the utilization of public resources. Section 119, subsection 3 of the Constitution says that all institutions and agencies of the state and government at every level are accountable to Parliament. Section 298 provides that inter alia that there must be transparency and accountability in financial matters. It gives prominence to the fact that public accounts must be expended transparently, prudently, economically, and effectively. In addition, Honorable Speaker, ma'am, financial management must be responsible and fiscal reporting must be clear. Section 299 of the Constitution mandates Parliament to monitor and oversee expenditure by all state institutions in order to ensure that all revenue is accounted for, all expenditure has been properly incurred, and any limits and conditions on appropriations have been observed. This is further buttressed by provisions in the PFMA, including sections 32, 33, and 34, compelling ministries to submit monthly and quarterly financial and accompanying reports to their respective portfolio committee. In this case, is the Portfolio Committee on Tourism and Hospitality Industry. The mandate and purpose of the Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry is to oversee all aspects of tourism in Zimbabwe, from policy formulation to implementation, ensuring quality and also promoting growth and positioning the country as a competitive tourist destination on the global stage. The ministry's mission is to facilitate the development and promotion of universally accessible and sustainable tourism policies, products, and services that promotes socio-economic growth. Honorable Speaker, ma'am, I will dive into the objectives of this report. There are three objectives. Number one, to assess the utilization of the public resources as provided for in the Constitution. Number two, to assess whether the ministry managed to achieve its 2024 third and fourth quarter performance targets. And last but not least, to proffer the recommendations in order to assist the ministry in effectively executing its mandate. I will not belabor the honorable members and yourself, Madam Speaker, ma'am, with the methodology. I'll move straight to the committee findings. There are 5 committee findings, Madam Speaker, ma'am. Number one, on resource planning and allocation. The committee noted that the ministry's 2024 total budget was 123 million ZiG, with 33% being allocated towards the program, that is the policy and administration. 67% was allocated towards program 2, which is development and promotion of tourism in this country. The ministry allocated its resources as shown in the figures below. It will be in our Hansard, our diagram as it is reported by the committee. In the submitted reports, the ministry proposed a quarter budget of 9 million ZiG, which translates to 7.9% of the total budget of the country, and the fourth quarter was allocated only 7% of the total budget. The bulk of the resources were allocated towards program 2, which is the tourism development and promotion. I'll move to the human capital, Madam Speaker, ma'am, as a committee finding. There was high vacancy rate of 55%. And Madam Speaker, ma'am, this is a cause for concern. 55% of vacancy rate in the ministry. having 94 vacancies out of 170 approved posts. This means that the organization was operating only on 45% staff members. This in turn compromises the quality and efficiency for service delivery, affecting stakeholders and the public who rely on the services of tourism and hospitality industry. The ministry's high vacancy rate was largely attributed to the administrative delays and budgetary constraints. The ministry received its approved organizational structure in June 2024. Madam Speaker, ma'am, you might remember that the ministry was co-joined with the Ministry of Environment, so it was only approved in June 2024, 8 months after its establishment. Unfortunately, by the time the structure was approved, Treasury had allocated resource envelope of 1.2 million ZiG, which was only sufficient to cover filling up 14 approved posts. It was noted that the ministry was yet to receive Treasury concurrence to implement its 2025 recruitment plan. However, engagements with the Treasury indicated that it was highly not feasible to fill in vacant positions in 2025. Therefore, a phased recruitment plan over a 2-year period, 2025 to 2026, was proposed to fill the 89 vacant posts as outlined in our table below, and the table will be presented in the Hansard, honorable members and colleagues. The committee observed that the filling of the vacant positions, priority will be given to the tourism and hospitality industry, the development program, which is the nerve center when it comes to driving the ministry's mandate. Human capital challenges resulting from delayed approval of the ministry structure was hampering the ministry's potential, which is the country's top gross domestic product contributor. I'll move to the expenditure management, Madam Speaker, ma'am. In the third quarter, the ministry's budget burnt out rate from January to September 2024 was 52%, reported by Treasury in 2025 budget statement. By the end of the fourth quarter, cumulatively, 80 million ZiG has been disbursed to the ministry, which is approximately 65% of the total budget allocation. The expenditure of the disbursed funds for the fourth quarter indicated effective utilization of the available resources. I'll move to the performance management, Madam Speaker, ma'am, as part of the committee findings. The procurement delays hampered the progress of the installation of internet services and having a functional website for the Ministry of Tourism. Despite these delays, the ministry's website was now on the testing domain. The fact that the ministry did not have a fully functional website that provides a global platform for the ministry to showcase Zimbabwe's tourism potential was a serious cause for concern. You can't be marketing tourism, Madam Speaker, ma'am, without a functional tourism website. So a well-designed website can effectively promote tourism destinations, events, and attractions, helping to attract both domestic and international visitors. With a functional website, the ministry's visibility and reach are significantly limited, reducing the potential to attract tourism and investors. I'll quickly move to the progress and audit issues, which is one of the most important sections of this report. In relation to the observations obtained from the Auditor General's report, Madam Speaker, ma'am, it was noted that following the progress of the audit report. In relation to the observations obtained from the Auditor General's report, it was noted that the following demerger from the Ministry of Environment, Wildlife and Climate. The Master Asset Register remained with the Ministry of Environment, unfortunately, as a parent ministry. The Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry was in the process of obtaining any asset certification for the assets that were transferred to its assistance with the assistance from the Treasury. The ministry has since opened a new asset register and entered all the assets received from the Ministry of Environment, pending the issuance of an asset certificate as directed by the Treasury. So it means that all the motor vehicles in the Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industries possession were registered with the CVR, except vehicles acquired in 2025, which were awaiting foreign currency allocation from the Treasury to process its registration. The committee observed that little progress was being made towards addressing such issues that were raised by the Auditor General's office, and implored the ministry to implement these issues noted by the Auditor General's report. Madam Speaker, Ma'am, before I conclude, I would want to move to the recommendations from the committee. We have 5 recommendations as a portfolio committee. Number 1, the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion should timelessly release the allocated funds. Number 2, the Public Service Commission should expedite the filling of vacant posts within the Ministry of Tourism. That is the 55% vacancies within the Tourism Ministry, and also filling of ICT vacant posts by 30th of September, which is next week, 2025. Number 3, the Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry should expedite the completion and updating the asset register by 31 August 2025. I'm sure they've done this, Honorable Speaker, ma'am. And then last but not least, the Treasury should ensure that Program 2 on tourism development and promotion is prioritized in the 2026 national budget in terms of the financial support and disbursements, as this is the core mandate of the ministry. And the last recommendation from the committee is that the Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry should work collaboratively with the other ministries such as Agriculture, Industry, towards promoting agro-tourism, sports tourism, religious tourism, and so forth by 31 December 2025. Madam Speaker, ma'am, I want to thank you and conclude that in light of the above, it is clear that the regular and consistent oversight of the executive, sustainable resource utilization can be realized through this parliament. The ministry is commended for submitting its third quarter budget on time, the performance report, but it is reminded that in the upcoming budget, they must make sure that they utilize their resources. It is therefore imperative that Parliament continues to invest in capacity building of its members of Parliament on budget to ensure effective and efficient budget implementation. And as I sit down, Madam Speaker, ma'am, I also want to thank the honorable members of the Portfolio Committee on Tourism who are steering the ship and also coming up with a splendid report for this committee. I thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am.